Wednesday, October the 31st. Lake level is right about 912. Been, pretty consistent for the last couple weeks. I didn't do a fishing report last week. I'm probably just going to go every other week through the winter, unless, we really get a big change in the fishing. But water temperature, it's anywhere from 62, and I have found some 56, 57 degree water. But fishing's been tough, to say the least. I don't know too many people that are catching very good. I mean, there were several tournaments this weekend. I think Saturday took 12 pounds to win, and I think second was 10. And I think Sunday in that Toyota tournament, it was like 15 pounds, but it dropped right down to 13. I think a lot of the fish are trying to move up. I mean, the water temperature's right. It should be really on right now. The crankbait bite, spinnerbait bite, it should be a good shallow bite, but apparently the fish don't read the same books we do because they haven't really moved up there. There's been so much fishing pressure on the lake, probably whenever one does pop his head up there shallow, there's a crankbait or spinnerbait or whopper plopper or something buzzing over the top of his head. But I think most of the tournaments are over with now for a while as far as the big ones. And I'm hoping with this cooler weather, like I say, Monday I went way up in the James River and I found water that was 54 degrees. But in the mid-James, it was about 62 degrees first thing. And that 58 to 60 degree water should be about perfect for the wigglewort and rock crawler. But I just haven't found, I gotta throw it. I just haven't found that many fish that seem like they moved up. And when I back out deeper, a lot of the fish that were out there in them structure spots, once that thermoclinus broke up, have really scattered. You can catch a few fish, you'll pull up and get maybe 1 or 2 bites on a point, and then that's it. And some of them have gone really deep, and some have gone really shallow. See, when that thermocline was set up good, majority of the fish were in that 25, 30 foot range. But once that's broke up, which is normal because the lakes should be getting pretty close to flopping over, where the water temperature on the bottom is the same as the top, the lake will flop. Well, anyways, that oxygen level will get dispersed all over the place, and that's what's kind of got the fish scattered. It's getting ready to do that. But, as far as on the jig bite, I am getting a little bit of a shallow dock bite. Shallow meaning, 15 foot or less. And I'm usually starting out on the walkways, fishing in behind the dock, and depends on how steep the bank is, how many stalls out I'll fish. But usually I get much more than 15, 18 feet. I'll go around the other side of the dock. And what I've been catching them on is a 7/16 ounce 5-fish lures ultimate finesse jig. Now a couple different colors been working good for me. The brown and purple, and just a straight brown's been doing pretty good. On this straight brown one, I've got a Ultra Vibe Speed Craw. On this brown and purple, I've got a Strike King Menace that I've taken about 3/4 of an inch off. And I like the 7/16 bait because I can fish that 15 to 18 foot and it doesn't take forever to get down there. And I have found the fish to be right on the bottom. They're not biting it on the fall. Seems like I've got to get as far back in the boat stalls as I can get and let the bait go down the bottom, pop it a few times, and then work it out real slow. You might find one dock you'll get a couple bites on, and you'll have to fish quite a few other docks to get some more bites. There's been a little bit of a spoon bite still on some of those deeper docks on a white slab spoon. I've been throwing a 3/4 ounce white spoon, and also that worldwide spoon that James Watson makes, or has. It's River to Seas is who makes it. And that's a big flutter spoon. And those fish, I've caught a few that have been in the 5 to 10 foot range, suspended over 50 foot, and I've had some there 25 to 30 foot. But there again, I'm just not getting a lot of bites doing that. The fish don't, no matter, however I'm catching fish, I'm having trouble finding very many of them in the same area on the same bait. Now, I am throwing a football jig, some 5/8 pig sticker, and brown purple, green pumpkin purple seems to be working good in either a Zoom Ultra Vibe Speed Craw or a Strike King Baby Rage Craw for a trailer, or the Big Rage Craw. But there again, I'm fishing it. I might get a bite 10 to 12 feet, and the next one will come 40 to 45 feet. Like I say, I'm hoping with this cooler weather where it's been more consistent, all the fish will start getting a little bit grouped up. I haven't done much on the drop shot. Normally this time of year, that spoon, either ½ ounce or 3/4 ounce slab spoon, vertically fished, will outproduce the drop shot. And a lot of times I'll be fishing it in the treetops. I'll go in the centers of these creeks looking for the shad. If I can find where the big schools of shad are, then I'll try to fish under the shad around the tops of the trees. Now I am finding the shad 25 to 30 foot deep, but I don't seem to be finding the fish underneath them. I don't know whether they haven't moved back up in there yet or what they're waiting on, but I'm ready for them to move back up in there. Another thing I've been catching a few fish on out there where we're throwing a football jig, and this seemed to work better the other day, is just a Zoom Ultimate, it's a Magnum finesse worm. And I'm throwing it on a 5/8 ounce or a 3/4, just a Magnum shaky head. The other day, for some reason, we got more bites by far on the Magnum worm than we did the jig. But, every day it's a little bit different. And the crankbaits I like to throw this time of year, pretty much a wigglewort or a rock crawler. Got a few different colors on the rock crawler. I like this red with the green back. And this is an old wigglewort here. I think it's, I don't know the number, but we always call it school bus. Works real good on table rock, bull shoals, and also any place you got any stained water. I haven't got much stained water here right now. Like I said, I was way up in the river, and there's a little tint, but even up around Cape Fear, the water is extremely clear. And this is the V38. Now I'll throw the wigglewort. Profound Outdoors makes one that's kind of a knockoff from the wigglewort. It works real well. And then also the Spro rock crawler. And most of the time, you want to be looking for these rock transitions where it goes from gravel to chunk rock. Some of it will be on the main lake, some will be on secondary points, but look for wherever the deep water comes up close to these banks, because these fish are moving up out of the channel. A lot of them are just kind of suspended out in the middle of some of these creeks. That's why they're so hard to get to bite. And I've tried little swim baits, grubs, but just haven't found the magic bait yet. But I think it's just more, and I don't think too many other people have either. Looking at the weights that have been in these tournaments and talking to a lot of guys that have been fishing, it's just, weight-wise, it's been a typical fall, but what seems to be a little bit different this year for some reason is just finding the fish. Normally you can catch a lot of fish this time of year, but you just can't catch the quality. Right now it seems to be a little both. A lot of the latter, which is not being able to find a lot of numbers of fish. But that's going to pick up, and I keep saying that, but as this water cools down, these fish are going to start to move up, and I'm hoping with a lot less pressure on the lake, maybe these fish will move. But a lot of the deal is we need the shad to move. The shad's still in the middle of the creeks. Very few places when I'm throwing a spinnerbait or a crankbait am I spooking up bait or having them little shore minnows spray up. Now, had been some fish being caught on spinnerbaits on the main lake flat, some smallmouth early in the morning. And I will throw, normally when I'm searching, I'll have one person throwing a wigglewort and one throwing a spinnerbait and maybe mixing it up with a whopper plopper. But this is a War Eagle ½ ounce. It's, I think it's called purple shad, but it's got a few strands of chartreuse in it. It's a really good bait. I like to throw tandem willows this time of year. One gold, one nickel. Another one bait that'll work good is the mouse color, especially in the real clear water. Either 3/8 or ½ ounce, and even a Colorado willow combination is good. It seems like you just got to cover a lot of water. But like I said, I'm hoping the fishing's going to get better. It should. We haven't seen any kind of a big shallow move yet for the fish. So it's raining right now. The weather's supposed to be cool for the next week or so. So I'm sure hoping that the bite's going to pick up. But until next week, good luck, good fishing.